Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to turn two wires into one wire using a method called tinning. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with this, you will need some supplies, of course, and you'll be able to do this for yourself to make one wire when you have a sever in a wire, comes apart, your dog chews it, whatever. So you'll need a few supplies. First of all, since I don't really have a workshop set up right now, I'm going to be using a tray. I would using my two wires that I'm going to make into one wire, and a couple supplies you'll need. Some heat shrink, of course. As you can see, I have pieces cut specifically for what I need to cover. Secondly, you absolutely need some strippers, of course, solder. I have this supply that I bought in 2007 and I haven't run out yet. So anyway, needle nose pliers, soldering iron. Sometimes you can use some alligator clips, and I'll show you how you use those. But anyway, let me get started here. I'm gonna have me a seat. First things first, what you need to do is strip the wire to the part that is supplying power. You need to strip that wire first, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Strip it very carefully so that you don't nick the internal wires. See? Yeah, nicked it. And that's why you don't. Try that again. Very gently. Very gently. Very gently so you don't nick the inside wires there. Oh, come on. Sometimes it might be better to use a blade if you have a steadier hand. Might work a little better. Alright. And as you can see, no nicks in it. Anyway, now once you do that, then you strip the inner wires, and as you can see, if you want to measure again, this is, you want to go half the length of the heat shrinks that you cut, and I'll show you why. Ideally, if you can, you want to stagger these two so it'll be easier to protect one wire from the other. Twist it so it's not fraying, going all over the place, so you can control it better. Alright. Alright. Now let's strip the other wire here. You see, it doesn't have an outer coating, so you can just strip each side. Now, normally with any other wire from the power source, you'd have to decide which is positive and which is negative by using your multimeter to figure out which side doesn't show a negative sign when you measure the voltage. But since we have a red and a white wire, then we don't need to do that because we all know that red's positive and black's negative. Okay, but we want to make sure that we have the right polarity on on the wire that we're trying to connect it to. Okay, so what you want to do is test for continuity on your multimeter. Pick these up at Radio Shack or you know, your other carry, you know, preferably Radio Shack. I know they want me to say that. Okay, and when you set this on a continuity measurement, touch them together. If you can hear that, it beeps. So what you want to do is see which side is the outside, because not always can you fit your probe into the connection there. Okay, so it's easier to just do the outside. Touch one to the outside and touch both wires and see which one beeps, which is that one. So that's the outside, and that's the one with the lines on it, as you can see. So the one with the lines is the outside. The one without the lines is the inside. Let's test that again. I always do it twice to make sure you're right. Yep, the one with the lines is the outside. The one with the the one without the lines is the inside of the barrel connection. So we want the inside to be positive. We want the inside to be positive, and so we want to match it up with the red. Now, before we do that, what we want to do is make sure we have our heat shrink in place before you even connect anything together, because that will make it easy to do later. You could do it afterward, but it'd be very difficult. Alright, drop your heat shrink on there. Drop your heat shrink on both sides, because you want to do as much protection as possible when you're doing this, so that afterward you won't have any shorts. Alright, so we said the one without the lines was the middle. We want that to match up with the positive. We're going to do this. Going to cross them like so, and then twist them together. Twist, 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 twist. As you can see, if you continue twisting, it looks like one wire. Again, do the same thing with the negative. Cross and twist, 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 twist. Alright. Now, once you get done with that, then you want to put this clip on. Now, the reason I'm putting this clip on is to keep these heat shrinks away from the heat until we get done with the soldering. Now, you want to fire your soldering gun up. If you have a good one, it does not take long. Every time you get ready to use it, before you plug it in, you want to make sure it's clean, so you want to scrape off any residue from your soldering iron and get the undercolor there. Any other burn, scrape it off your tip. Scrape it off your tip. Okay? See the difference? How clean it is? Alright. So we scrape that off. Now we're going to plug this in. The reason I got the needle nose pliers, nice way to hold your thing. Now the reason why I set it up like that makes it so much easier to solder, because you don't have 3 hands, you only have 2. Makes it very difficult. Mine fortunately has an on-off switch, so I can turn mine on and off. It makes it very difficult to solder when you don't have 3 hands. So what we're going to do is we're going to solder these pieces together and try to get it close so you can see exactly how the solder goes on there. Alright. And you'll see how these 2 pieces of wire will become 1. Just to see if your soldering iron is hot. It's hot. So, what you're going to do, touch a wire to it like so, and then start painting on, because it doesn't take it long to get hot, start painting on your solder onto the wire so that it soaks in and begins to look like one piece. See that? One piece. Okay? Again with the other wire. By the way, that's really hot, so be careful. Don't burn your hands. Alright. And again, with this one, paint it on. Paint it on. Paint it on. Paint it on. Now, as you can see, they both are made as one wire. Now what you're going to do is you're going to slide, you got this to protect your heat shrinks from the heat. You're going to slide these up, and as you can see, it just covers those things. And what you're going to do, because it's heat shrink, you're going to put a little heat to it. So you're going to light up your lighter, shrink it down. As you can see, it lives up to its name. Well, it's called heat shrink, and it melds to the wire pretty well. And then, after you do that, turn my soldering iron off so I won't burn myself. You put the bigger piece of heat shrink, and this is where the magic really happens, because when you shrink that, it really begins to look like one wire. When you shrink it properly, you see no copper. Some people like to use heat shrink. Some people don't. The ones that don't look sloppy. As you can see, that looks like one wire. And that's how you make 2 wires into 1.